Okay, good morning, class.
Good morning.
How are you guys this morning?
Good.
I'm fine, thank you. May you take your seats. Okay, today's topic, I told you last time that we're going to start with a new topic. Since we finished the last topic, now we're going to start with a new one. And today's topic is going to be about prices. The topic is going to be about prices, but then the main objective is define retail price index and show its simple calculation. So we are going to focus on the objective. We are not going to really focus on the main topic, the topic itself, but then rather the objective. At the end of this lesson, you should be able to define retail price index as well as calculate. I hope you guys brought your calculators with. Who brought their calculator with? Okay, what about the rest? Alright, those that do not have their calculators, then you guys can share, and I hope you guys are good at sharing. So I'm going to distribute the flyers. They just pass it on. Pass it on to the rest. So when a person speaks about, when you hear the word retail, what comes in your mind when you hear the word retail? Yes. Who knows what a retail is, or who knows what a wholesale is? Wholesale, yes. Who knows what a wholesale is? Like when a person speaks about a wholesale or a retail. So none of you guys have any idea of what a wholesale is or a retail. What can you see here?
Retail.
Okay, she's saying, she's saying goods, a basket of food, different kinds of foods. So where do you normally get this food?
In the store?
In which shops? Any shop or just
Shoprite.
Yes, you are correct. You get this food in either Shoprite, Spar, Woolman. So those are retail shops where you go and you buy something. And wholesale is now another bigger shop where only retail shops go to the wholesale and buy items in bulk. And then at the retail shop, they then sell to you guys, the public. So who has ever gone to a shop and did some shopping for the family? Do you normally go shopping?
Yes.
Okay, tell me, if you guys are okay, you go shopping, in 2010, I don't know now whether some of you guys went shopping, or let's say 2020, we are in 2025, how many of you guys know the price of bread in 2020 and the price of bread in 2025? Is it the same?
No.
It's not the same, right?
Yes.
So that's now what we are going to focus on now. We are going to define retail price index and we are going to show calculations. Because when we speak about retail price index, when you go to shops, every year the prices of goods change because of inflation. Because of inflation is the rise and fall of prices as time moves. That's why bread is not the same price today as it was 2 years ago. So in order for us to continue, there is a first point there where we are going to define the price index. And the price index is a measuring system that compares the average price of a group of goods and services in one period of time with the average price of the same goods and services in another time. So say for instance, like I said now, bread in 2020, it was probably $10. And now we are in 2025, bread is no longer $10, it's now $15. So the price went up. And I think we've never realized, or we never came across a certain period where bread is now maybe 25, and then next year it's $10. It does not, it will never work like that. So price index, it just measures now, like the prices. You understand? Yeah, so we measure, just like we are in 2025, so we might measure 2025 maybe to 2030. So we use 2025 and measure it against 2030, because 2030 probably bread will be now $25, while it's $15 at the moment. So retail price index itself is the main way in which the government measures changes in the value of money. Have you ever heard that when you go to Angola, if you maybe give $100 million, you might get a bunch of a lot of money? Yes. Why do you think you might end up getting a lot of money just because of $100 million? Imagine it's 100, and then you only have, you get maybe a bunch of a lot of money.
Because their currency is weak.
Because their currency is weak, which is correct. Pandu, what do you think? Let's try.
Okay. Because Namibia's currency is high.
I cannot hear you.
Because Namibia's currency is high.
Okay, so because Pandu is saying because Namibia's currency has more value, their money is not valuable. So this is how the government tries to measure like the changes in the value of money. At the moment, when you compare the value of Namibian dollars to the value of the Kwanza or something there in Angola, the value of the Namibian dollar is strong. So with Namibian dollars, if you go to Angola, you might actually buy a lot of items. So it measures over a number of years the price of a fairly typical basket. Like here, you see this basket, there's a lot of vegetables. So maybe tomatoes, green peppers, and all those things. So say for instance, this year or last year, this basket was probably, let's say $100. This year, it will not stay at 100. This year, it's probably going to go to 150. Just like that. Like every year, things change, and unfortunately, it is like that, but then it is what it is. Okay, the government also uses retail price index or consumer price index to calculate the rate of inflation. What did I say earlier what inflation is? Where's Pandu?
When the price is not fluctuating, when it's fluctuating.
Okay, Pandu is saying inflation has to do with the fluctuation of prices. Sometimes you find the price of probably tomatoes is high, and then later in the month, right, tomatoes are now cheap. Just like that's how inflation is. And then the government also chooses a base year in the index case. So the base year for now, if we have to compare maybe 2025 with another year, which is probably 2020, 2020 will be now the base year that we are going to use to actually see how much the increase was from 2020 to 2025. So the base year is normally the year that has to be used, like the year prior to whatever year you are in. Yeah? Any questions? Before we go to the calculations. Anything that you're interested in wanting to know?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Why are Angolan prices? Okay, why are Angolan things very cheap compared to Namibia?
Okay, Anapa actually gave a very good question. Why are Angolan goods very cheap compared to the Namibian goods, even though the Namibian dollar is stronger? I honestly do not know, but then I'll get back to you with the correct answer tomorrow when we have our next lesson. So we are going to continue now with the calculations. As I said, we should also be able to know the simple calculations of consumer price index. And for those that have their calculators. Please just take your calculators out and you guys can just note down the simple calculations. Yeah, the simple. So, for example, you want to know what goods and services costing $23.60 in 1990 would have cost in 1997. And you can see that 1990 is a year way prior to 1997. So, if a good was costing $23.60, then that means, do you think that in 1997 it will be lower?
No, it will be keep on increasing every
Not yet new?
It will keep on increasing every year.
Yes, as the years are passing, the prices of goods and services will keep on rising. The price index for 1990 is now 134.8. So we are now going to use this 134.8 to actually compare to 1997, where the price index was 373.2. As you can see, the price index here was low. And then when it came to 1997, it increased. So meaning the prices of goods and services in between those years have increased to this, and I think this is very high, as you can see. So maybe an item that was costing now $23 is now, let's see how much it's going to cost me. And this is the way of calculation with calculators. You have to use your calculators. Okay, the calculator indicates the cost in 1990 by the change in prices between 1990 and 1997 with this formula. So this is the formula. The cost in 1997 equals to the cost in 1990 times, open brackets, 1997's price index, which is this one, divided by the price index of 1990, which is this one. And then you get the answer, which is now 65.3. Therefore, the future cost of 1997 of the same goods and services has risen to 65.33. Imagine from a 23.60, which just shows you that the prices of goods and services increases over time. So I'm going to put this in groups of three. No, in two groups. So you guys need to work together. Okay? So group 1 or group A. Group A, we are going to use 2020 as the base year. 2020. And the price of goods and services in that year was $200. The price index for that year was 110. We are going to compare 2020 to 2024 with a base of 120. So we want to know how much the price increased in 2024 when you have now to use 2020 as the base year. So that's for group A. Group B, yours is, we are going to use, we are going to use 2010 as the base year, and the price of goods and services were 150, and the price index for that year was, the price index was 100, just 100. We are going to compare 2010 to 2025, which has a price index of 150. So we want to know the goods of 2025, how much did it increase? So we are going to use 2010 as the base year. So please do your calculations in groups. You guys, we don't have much time. We just do the calculations and then let's see. Yeah. Okay, group A, that's group A. So group A said that they got their answer. What is the answer here? How much were the goods and services costing? According to your calculation.
How much?
By how much did it increase? What's the price for 2024?
Oh, for 2024. It was 154.
It cannot be 100 because the price index was lower.
Take the 66.
What?
Okay.
What is the answer?
Okay, group B.
225.
Okay, 225. So group B, I can see that they probably got the right price. Not 250, 225. Yes. As you can see, the price index for 2010 was 100. And then we were gonna compare with the 150. So meaning here the price increased. You can see already by this 50 that it's from 100 and then it went to 150. So even the price itself will increase from 150 to you guys got what? 218. Okay. Okay, for group A, they said they got 218. And did you use the formula?
Please come to
Yes, 218. Maybe one Okay, just go sit there. So I can explain again. You take the cost of the basic, which is how you take the cost of this $200. You take the 200 here, you times it, open brackets, the price index of this year, this 2024, you put it here. You divide it with the price index of 2020, and then that's how you get your answer. Is that what group B did? Yes. Okay, declare this for yourselves. Alright, so group A, since we don't have a lot of time, there is a class activity that I would like you guys to do next. Well, that was the class exercise. Now I have some questions to ask. 2 questions. Who has an understanding of the retail price, what the retail price is? You can give me just a definition of what you think retail price is. Yeah, you may try.
It's when the price is not stable and the price is
Okay, Pandu gave us a definition of what inflation is. Retail price index is the main way which the government, and I already explained to this, it's the main way how the government measures changes in the value of money. And I also gave you an example of Angola. Like the value of the money in Angola, when you have $100 million, you are getting a bunch of a lot of money. Like in Namibia, you are only getting just a $100. But when you have to change it to Angolan money, you are really getting a lot of, Angolan quantas or whatever.
Like that, dollars.
They are quantas, yeah, something like that. Yeah. So, who can tell me what inflation is? Which Panu just mentioned more or less inflation.
When the price is not balancing.
Okay, then she's saying when the price is not balancing, more or less correct. Any other person to try inflation? Yes, Salma. Let's speak louder again.
Change in price or quantity of goods and services for everyday
Inflation. Inflation, yes. Okay, let's try. Inflation is the rise and fall of prices of goods and services. So a good can be maybe $20 today, tomorrow it's 25, next day it's again back to $21, just like that. when the prices of goods and services is like fluctuate. Yes. So who understands the calculations? Who can say that, okay, me, even if you give me now, I'll be able to do the calculations. Just raise your hand. If you are sure. Okay, Shefeni?
Sure.
Deshi? Sarah? Rosalia? So only group A people. Oh, group B people. So group A will speak after class. So the time is up now. So we'll continue or we'll do an activity tomorrow again. So thank you very much, guys. This is the end of our class for today.
Okay.